So, Joe, there was some big news in the transfer portal the last couple of days. None real bigger from a Nationals perspective because of the quarterback situation and Hugh Freeze. But Jackson Arnold taking his talents instead of Mississippi State to the Auburn Tigers. A lot of Auburn fans are not excited about this. I guess, what are your thoughts on Jackson Arnold going to Auburn?
Well, I think that for anyone who's not excited about this, I mean, it's not like a high-risk move. He doesn't have to start this year. We talked about that possibility, and you were against it.
No, he's got to start this year because there are other quarterbacks left. I mean, you're going to put in Deuce Knight?
Well, that was what I was going to say, is that if theoretically you're not in love with Jackson Arnold and the way that he plays in camp, you can turn to Deuce Knight. I think that there are much better receiving options, an improving offensive line, and a better defensive line. There's a better core at Auburn than there was at Oklahoma. There's a better infrastructure and a better offensive system for Jackson Arnold to play this year. Jackson Arnold, the one thing that's going to hurt him potentially, though, that might not work out, the last quarterbacks that you had were turnover prone.
Oh, and this is not this kid.
Jackson Arnold has made some brutal decisions, and it all started with the way that he played against what was that, the Fiesta Bowl that he played? Well, when they played against Arizona, he had a bunch of
he threw 3 picks against Arizona in that bowl game in his first ever start. But again, his OC's not there. Levy's gone.
Okay.
They're promoting someone in.
He still did that this year. He didn't handle pressure very well this year. He got benched midway through and then stepped back in. There's a world where Jackson Arnold plays really well because he's a good athlete. He can move. He's got a little bit of Chad Kelly in him, maybe with the way that he plays the quarterback position that could work within the system. But we're banking on him improving his decision-making. That's like the biggest part about this. I don't think it's super high risk as many people think it is, unless the expectation is that Auburn is supposed to be competing for a national championship.
Well, hold on. I saw him go up against Alabama and basically run the ball 25 times and win a football game.
Yeah, but he ain't going to be able to do that every single week at Auburn, man. He's got to be a better passer.
No, you're right. Their top 5 receivers were out, and he couldn't throw the football. That's all he could do. So what happens when Cam Coleman is on a double move and he's got time to throw the football, which he did not have at Oklahoma? I don't think – here's 2 things. Number one, I don't think that I know exactly what Jackson Arnold is at the moment. I don't.
It's fair.
Okay? So what? He threw 3 picks in a bowl game. He was a true freshman, whatever. You're right. First start, okay. But I look at him this year. They fired their offensive coordinator midway through the season. They said he was horrible. They got better as an offense when their OC was gone. We criticized them as the worst offensive line in the SEC, and we're blaming him. Now,
no, not blaming him.
No. We were blaming him. Let's go back to when we were blaming him that he wasn't good and he couldn't do this, he couldn't do that. We called for him to be benched, remember, after the Tennessee game, and we saw the other kid that came in. No. Let's not go back there. People were asking for him to be benched. So there comes a part where he's the one that comes in and has to run the ball 25 times against Alabama and win. Look, the last game that this kid played, nobody watched him more than this guy right here. I promise you. No one. Because covering LSU, the last game they played, whatever. This kid can play, Joe. I'm telling you now, he's got some moxie to him. What happens in a non-turnover worthy situation? I don't like the move necessarily for him, but there comes a part where everybody's criticizing this kid for what? You don't know who he is. Was Oklahoma the worst offensive line in the SEC, yes or no?
It was, but
did he have top 5 targets? Andrew,
yes,
okay.
Yes, he did. It's fine to acknowledge
fired in the middle way through the season.
I don't disagree with what you're saying here. That he has the traits to be a good player to work in the. I literally just said this. I literally just said that there is a capability for him to succeed, but at the same time, understandably, with difficulties in front of him, he still made plenty of avoidable mistakes. Like he still had a bunch of issues with his performance. So there's still
none worse than Peyton Thorne.
Auburn is also not Auburn's not like a complete team at the current moment. You know, they're not at that level where they're really hitting their stride with their roster. So it's not like he's stepping into a complete team that sets him up to go 9-3. He's going to have just same level of issues that he did last year.
I'm going to disagree with that. I disagree with it because Auburn had a top 30 offense, top 30. That's with
Jarquez Hunter's gone. He's going to go to the
okay,
NFL.
Fine. They'll get it back. Let's not act like Hugh's not going to get it back. They'll get it back. I'm not worried about them there. What I'm saying is, you look at the Arkansas game. That should be a win. Like, there are a lot of games that Peyton Thorne lost them. Like, I mean, Joe, they were a top 30 offense with that dude.
All I'm saying, and you agreed with me here, Jackson Arnold, turnover prone. He's turnover prone. Your last guys that you had were turnover prone. That has been what has held back Jackson Arnold. That is what has held him back as a player, is that it's the decision-making and it's the turnovers. So we're banking on a lot there for him to step into new. That's my whole deal here. You're right. If he plays to his potential, this is a top 5, 10 quarterback in the country. But I've only seen the negative side of his play.
Well,
and this offense requires him to make good decisions. That's all I'm saying.
I think that he does make good decisions. Again, I'm not going to criticize the first-time starter on some of the things that he had issues with. Right. Why does he not get the breaks? Why does everybody else get to do what they do and then they get the breaks besides him? And then I throw on top of it, Auburn, newsflash to everybody in the country. He just went through arguably one of the toughest situations in the country and made chicken salad out of chicken shit. He did. Joe, he by himself made them bowl eligible. By himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, yes, that's true. The way that he played
only running the football.
And that was commendable, but that's not replicable. Nothing he did then. It wasn't
sure.
It wasn't like, wait, here's a really good example. When Jaden Daniels was at Arizona State, they had that upset over Oregon, and you saw
thank you for making my point.
Well, no. The way that he stop. The way that Jaden Daniels played as a passer and as a runner and just as a playmaker, we all were reminded, like, wow, this kid's really gifted if he was in a better situation. Jackson Arnold just ran the whole game. That is not something that's going to get recreated at Auburn this upcoming year.
You're missing the bigger point. What happens when he doesn't have to do that?
I don't know if he can succeed not doing that, though. That's the best game that he played his whole career. There's more questions than answers here. That's what I'm trying to display.
Oklahoma was the worst offense in the SEC.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. BetOnline remains your top spot for all of your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL are all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today and use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for 50% off your first deposit. That is a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts.